Greetings, family. Greetings, greetings, greetings. This is another episode of the Melanin Report 360. The Melanin Report 360. The Melanin Report 360. Like, share, subscribe, follow. Like, share, subscribe, follow. Like, share, subscribe, follow. So thank you again for tuning in, and I really appreciate it. So I'm going to talk about, I don't want to say it's controversial. I think it's evident, the information that I'm going to share today. So let me go ahead and read the fair use disclaimer. I hope everyone's having a great Friday Eve. So thank you again. So now, fair use. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Let me go ahead and turn my phones off because I know there was a buzz yesterday while I was on the air. So let me go ahead and do that. Okay, so I wanted to talk about the heaviness. We are the fattest nation, or wannabe. I'll say it, the top five. I'll just be safe. Let's just say the top five. We're in the top five of people not moving their body. So this is your vehicle. This is your body. It's a vehicle. So we can use it whichever way we choose. It seems like by way of commercials and otherwise, we're not moving our bodies as much as we did, let's just say, 40 years ago. When I say that, when my parents would give us punishment, usually you would be able to get your homework done, blah, blah, blah. My parents would check homework, and then we can go outside. So to not go outside if we were doing something or had done something. And the punishment was to not be able to go outside. I mean, that was like, because it's like, oh, Deanne must have done something. She's not out. So you would probably get teased, after that scenario. And if my brother was outside and I wasn't, or he was outside, I was outside and he wasn't, that was the barometer of seeing if somebody was, good to go, or punishment was totally not being able to go outside. That was like the worst that anyone can do. And we're talking like the 70s. So a lot has changed. I remember the 70s. I had two classmates, and we're talking sixth grade, and I will just say the first name. So Sylvia and Frederick. Those two were chunky, if you will. Everyone else was slender. Everyone else was running around, perhaps there was something going on, not being able to do that. But those were the only two people, even when I went to middle school and there later high school, there wasn't too many people that were considered overweight. Because when I was in public school, I was in public school all the way through. When I was at PS 182, for example, I walked to school. And so if the weather was really, really tough, my father would drive me, my neighbor's children, and drop us off, and we'd have to just walk home. But we had to walk to school. In fact, a few times, I think my father worked second shift. It seemed like he walked us to school, so the parents sometimes would walk children to school. That wasn't uncommon. It was 8 blocks. I remember that. It was 8 blocks, city blocks, but 8 blocks nevertheless. And so we had exercise. We had constant, when I went to S 182, that was in East New York, and then intermediate 292, that wasn't too far. It was like maybe 9 blocks. It was just right across the street, really, from the public school I went to in East New York. So it wasn't. We were always walking to school. That was a given. No one was driving you. I mean, my parents had 2 cars, so you know, the cars, you walk to school. That was what you did. Um, I mean, that was just a norm. That was definitely a norm. And now we have children who are driving, high school people, young people, have cars. We didn't have cars. Like, huh? We got in the car on the weekend, you know. I was taking piano lessons. I got in the car Saturday. I had piano lessons, for example, and that was over in Bed-Stuy, but do or die. Um, but yeah, I mean, I really didn't have the luxury of having the car or any car. I didn't even start driving until I think I was, right after college, well, right during college. So this was luxury. If, people have cars, that's like a luxury, huh? And so there's a message being sent, perhaps, to not so much, being able to have a vehicle or not, or afford a vehicle. It's not even about money. It seems like it's about, status. Oh, my father got me a car, my mother got me a car, or whatever. But what is the cost? What is the cost? And I was kind of thinking about today what I was going to talk about. And so, as it were, life kind of shows you what you're going to talk about. And so, I was at the store, and there was a young lady, probably 20, 30, maybe in her 30s, maybe. And so, I was taking my cart back. And I saw her, and she was riding on a scooter. I guess it wasn't motorized. I don't know, but it wasn't like a motorcycle. But it was she was underneath the awning. The shopping is all there. It's really, really big. It's like, Walmart and this, and I mean, it's a lot of big boxes. I think there's Lowe's and everything. So it was a lot of walking. My goodness. I mean, just like, huh? I mean, she was young. Her legs were moving. She could walk. I'm not talking about people who are incapacitated. They can't walk. They can't use their legs. I'm not talking about these folks. But it's a shame and a disgrace that we are the fattest nation. I'm not trying to say everyone. I mean, I work out at least 3 to 4 times a week. I mean, I'm at LA Fitness at least 3 to 4 times a week. I don't miss a beat on that, because my physical health, mental health, emotional health are all equal. I don't take one over the other. And it just seems like with the commercials, if I see another Popeyes commercial, I am going to scream. And they always have Black women or men that are jonesing on these daggone, I don't know. They're jonesing on this type of food. And it's not even food. I don't even know if it's classified as food. legal definition. I don't know if it is food. That's another conversation. But this is where we are. This is where we are. We have the highest, now I'm talking about melanated people. We have a lot of obesity in our community. We have a lot of um, diabetes. Most of these things are weight driven. I'm not trying to say no one underweight or regular weight have, these types of conditions, but they are definitely driven by poor eating habits. How can we say it? So the truth will set us free. We talked about that yesterday. The truth will set us free. But theoretically, we come from people who have endured fill in the blank. We've endured a lot in this country still. We've endured a lot, period. Hands down. You cannot say that we are, quote, a lazy people. We built this country. So there's no lazy bone in our body. However, why are we in the condition that we're in? We should, if we're eating right, I'm not trying to say everyone's going to be vegetarian. I'm not going to say everyone's going to be vegan. I'm not going to say that. I am definitely not going to say that. However, if you have meat, let's just say chicken, fish, those two, once a week, maybe twice a week, you can do that. But if you're eating every meal, pork, bacon, sandwich meat, if we're doing this more than we don't have fruits and vegetables, nuts and grains, I mean, we've never been taught how to eat. We've never, in this country, you may have home economics, by the time you're 15 or 16, but by then, some of the systems in your mind, the triggers in your mind, the things that are going to satisfy you, and that's all we look at, the satisfaction of food, because it's comfort. It's not nutrition based, it's comfort. And this is our downfall because our people have been duped of, like I said, not knowing the method of eating. We give babies Similac. That's the biggest poison. Okay. So Similac, what about mother's breast? I'm not understanding that. You generate naturally the ability to produce nutrients that your baby needs. Similac is for everyone. Everyone takes Similac. And I'm like, well, why? I mean, I wasn't breastfed. My mother didn't breastfeed me. I don't understand why she didn't breastfeed my brother. But that was her choice. But I think there is a lot of benefit, like 99% benefit of nursing, even if women are working out of the house, working, etc. You know, they have the breast pump. We can be able to, do all of that and bring it up to room temperature. Put it in the refrigerator. Put it. I mean, it's just certain ways. If that is important to you, you will make, quote unquote, a sacrifice. It shouldn't be a sacrifice because you should want that your baby, to be able to feed her or him the best way you can. And that's by mother's milk. That's a given. But not saying on that area, which, controversial in and of itself. But, let's look at this. The food it's really commercials on TV. I would say you don't see, even living out here, we don't even see too many water commercials. We do, because we're in a desert. So we have seen them. I definitely have seen them. But balanced nutrition is always about a gadget of eating, um, like Nutrisystem. That's a big one, you know, and Weight Watchers and this and that. We have to have all these little mechanics in place to quote unquote train our mind to eat better. This is your home. This is where you live. So why wouldn't you take a moment to exercise? Even if it's an hour, 3 times a week, that's 3 hours a week. That's not a lot of time, a 24-hour day. But I guess what's important is on phone, text, you know, email, blah, blah, blah. We have to get back to some of the basics because these systems that are in place now, they are, quote unquote, killing us. So I saw one of the commercials I saw this afternoon was the cubic. I think that was, I'm not sure if I think it's the cubic, and it's the exercise bike that's just on the ground. So it's not a bike. It's like wheels turn. You sit on your phone. They show a person on the phone, and you're exercising your legs. So this is now exercise. How lazy are we going to be? I mean, one of the um, ladies who was, the model or the person that's going to do it. I mean, she is morbidly obese. I don't know if you've seen this commercial. It was just, oh my gosh. She should be literally, if she's able to move her, I'm not trying to be funny, but if she's able to do her legs, do the thing on the leg. I don't even know what it's called. It's called a cubit, I think. Um, if she can stand, not trying to be funny, but if she can stand and she can walk, even if I go to like 7 or 8 of my incline. So I don't just walk regular walk. I just go 7, I think it's percent incline, and then I do 30 minutes. That's the minimum. I usually don't do much more than that, but I work my legs one day, then I work abs and back the next day, and then I work my biceps, triceps, and biceps, triceps, and shoulder. So that's 3 days. 3 days. Not, sometimes 4. Now, it's blazing out here now, so I'm gonna be running that gym probably tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Um, yeah, I've been a little busier, and I'm not gonna just beat up on myself. But I know the importance of body health, wellness, your mind. I meditate twice a day. I meditate morning, the last thing in the evening, and the first thing in the morning. That's like what I'm saying, 20 minutes. 20 minutes. I mean, are we taking care of our body, our mind, and our spirit? Going to church is not necessarily taking care of your body and your mind and your spirit. Maybe. I'm not saying it doesn't, but you have to have some type of ritual outside of that to be able to zero in on your personal walk and talk with the Most High, or the relationship with the Most High, even if it's not the conversation, if it's my connection to the Most High. Let's leave it at that. But some churches are, promoting health. Now they're promoting the vaccine. I don't know. But I've been getting not to say change the subject too much, but I've been getting on my phone. I guess they know who hasn't gotten the vaccine. So now I'm recently getting a message of, I guess, like I said, they're keeping track of all the people who haven't and the ones that have. And I've been offered $1,000. That comes to my phone. $1,000. First, I was offered 1,400, and this has nothing to do with stimulus. This, I think it's Pfizer. I don't know which one, but they they sent me an email and send to the link and blah blah to sign up, blah blah blah, and upon getting the vaccine, you'll get $1,000. So the churches are now on tap for getting the vaccine. I don't understand with that, but that's a whole nother conversation at the time. But this is where we are. Our children are just video games, video games. Take video game away. Have the family go for a walk. Now it's really it's like 100 degrees literally today. So this weekend's gonna be nice, Mother's Day weekend. You know, can we do a family walk? Having no phones. Have the phones on you for safety, but the children, the 8-year-olds, the 7-year-olds, they need to have a phone. Seriously, black and brown people. Your child should be with you or another adult 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You should always know where your child is. Now, I get it, safety, blah, blah, blah. That's up for discussion because I'm not convinced of 8-year-olds needing the phone. I'm just not understanding that. But again, I am not a parent, but I'm a cat parent. I'm a cat parent. But we have to look at this because my father used to say, the fork, some kind of saying he said, that would be our demise. Fast food wasn't always 24 hours. Did you know that? Fast food was saying fast food. I don't know about food, but you know, McDonald's is maybe a mile and a half, 2 miles from me, 24 hours, 7 days a week. I think they're closed maybe one holiday, maybe Christmas. I don't know. So we have to look at that. We have the power and the control to set the stage, what's important and what isn't. What is not important is eating any time, day or night. That's not important. There's a reason why you should be resting at a certain time. I don't even know if people are aware of the term graveyard shift because people working nights go to the grave earlier because the body is conditioned to rest in the evening. In fact, because it's the sun is up and my bedroom faces west. And so I usually I'm usually winding down about 8:30, 9 o'clock because I'm up at 5:36 in the morning. I have a full day of doing what I need to do, but I have the rhythm of my rest. I do the meditation morning and evening, first thing in the morning and last thing in the evening. So I set that in motion to have that for 7 days a week, 7 days a week. And so this is the importance that I have of my mental health. How am I starting my day? Am I starting my day irritated, upset, pissed off, mail, what happened? No. I control this. I control this. And before knowing that you control this, everything could be chaotic. So if you know that you know how to know and know and know and know and know, this is your home. This is where you live. This is your personal um, place that you reside. So do I want it to be chaotic, crazy, cell phones ringing all the time? I turn the phones off in the evening. There's no reason for it to be on. Somebody calls me and it's urgent, I'll see it in the morning. Okay? But we have to, because everything is moving at a very, very fast pace, and we have to have the due diligence and the wherewithal to slow things down, just to slow it down. Because it's just maddening that the pace is off the chain, and sometimes you have to smell the roses, if you will. I wanted to just mention a couple of other things. I know I made some notes. Yeah. So going back to my beginning years, walk to school. Excuse me. Walk to school. Those were the first. Well, while I was in elementary into high school. High school, I took. Now I don't know about now. What's going on now? But I took the bus and the train because my high school was 7 miles, which seemed like a lifetime distance. Wasn't that far, but I took trains, I took buses. I had a bus pass, I had a train pass because I could take either or. And I think it was bus pass. Bus pass was a nickel, I think, and train pass was free. You just show the pass and go through the gate. But I know this is a different time, but we have to not lose sight of the basics that worked. The basics that work, we know. We know that we know that we know. But if you have an 8-year-old and he or she has a cell phone, that's a problem. That is definitely a problem. Now, if they have it, they don't have access to it. When they come home, it goes on the port, until the next day. I see and can see that, perhaps. But 8-year-old person, child, should be with an adult, either school. I'm not understanding. And again, I don't come from cell phone childhood, so I don't know all of that. But with that said, we should be able to say, this makes sense. This doesn't make sense. This makes sense. We have to, even though we're in this country, we have to take the plug out of, whether it's COVID, it's a lot of chaos, confusion, numbers. Just slow down, exhale, and have a knowing, a sense of your knowing, your personal, your family knowing. Just have some of that in your mind, in your heart, in your spirit. And you won't be able to, no one can sway you one way or the other because you're in a strong foundation. Right now, I don't know where that foundation is. We're always right now, the last several years, decade, let's say, we are quote unquote dodging bullets, you know. So I get all of that. There's certain things we have a due diligence of saying yes, no. Now, I said no to certain things, a lot of things I've said no to, a lot of things, because not everything is for everyone. Not everything is for everyone. One size does not always fit all. So majority, again, of illness, I guess I'm closing now. The majority of illness, sad to say, is obesity. I'm not trying to say every person has had whatever disease. I'm not trying to say that. However, you have a higher chance of having a major disease when you are overweight. I know I was overweight. I was definitely, I wasn't quite 200 pounds. I'm 5'11". I wasn't quite 200 pounds. I was like 194. And that was, I don't know what I was going through, but I had to look at that. Am I stuffing, myself? And so I modified, made some changes in my intake and my livelihood, meaning going to the gym, meditating every day, twice a day, and this and that. But I had to look at that. I'm not perfect. No one's perfect. Especially we in this country. So we can definitely look at. I was going to say a little joke. When I was in high school, sometime I would go. When I was on my cycle, I would go and talk to the gym teacher. We had gym. That's the other thing I want to say. We had PE 5 days a week, 5 days a week, 5 days a week, 5 days a week. We had gym 5 days a week. We had PE 5 days a week, 5 days a week. I say 5 days a week. So I went to my thinking that would, I should have known better. Looking back on it. But I went to my PE teacher and I was like, oh, I'm on my cycle. I'm not feeling well. I was whining And she said, Meningol, you need to, man, you need to, go in that room, locker room, and get suited up, playing volleyball or something. But I mean, it strengthened me in that you're on your cycle. It's not the end of the world. You can still do this exercise, you know. And I so appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that because, the whole time I was in high school, that was never an excuse. And it didn't need to be. But I was trying her, at some point. Yeah, we have to watch the video games, the phones, everything that's not keeping our bodies moving. I'm not trying to be, a serious athlete, but my age group, I'm probably top 10%, definitely. Um, with everything that I do, my practice, etc. I just want to encourage everyone to do the same. If you don't have a workout, it's like a workout plan, or like I said, I go to LA Fitness right down the street. If you don't have that in your area, get a jump rope. Get a jump rope. Get a $10 jump rope. Get some free weights. Maybe a set of free weights. You can go anywhere. We have Play It Again, sports, and that's things that are recycled, if you will. And they have a lot of jump ropes, $5. Even if it's $10 jump rope, you can afford that, I'm sure. So we have to start a way of moving the body. If you have free weights, that's a start. You can do some arm lifts, with the weights. I'm not trying to say 50 pounds, just start off slow. The fact that you're moving your body. Now we have 24-hour TV. That's my last point. We have 24-hour TV. I didn't have that growing up. I didn't have it. The news came on, and that was the end of the night. And I think the programming came back, and of course they're calling it programming for a reason. So the program would come back on 5 or 6, somewhere in there. So you had to sleep, or whatever, because you didn't have to be entertained 24/7 as we are doing now. You know, we can turn the TV off and just have family night of no communication other than speaking. How about that? We have to look at this thing, because laziness of the United States, it's just off the chain. And the other thing is the hoarding, but I think there's more psychological with that. Hoarding of food, hoarding. 'Cause I remember, I'm just trying to close. I know I've been about 35 minutes, so I'm really passionate about this, because I remember I had a very good friend. We were the same age, in fact, and she was a hoarder at some level. I'm not going to mention any names, but she was a hoarder. She like if I bought like I usually get like one. Right now I maybe have 2 or 3 different toothpaste. She would have like maybe 8 or 10. It was just her. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And this was it was just coming through a little bit. But some people like to have these comforts around them and in their body, meaning food. We have to look at that. If this is a psychological problem, or is it emotional? We're feeding the pain? I don't know. I do know that we have to change. We have to change. I'm talking about, a lot of other people on YouTube talking about the top whatever conversation. I just want to bring practicality to my channel and give tools for us to use going forward, because it's tough right now with a lot of people. So if we can pull back the reins of say, wait, let's get a handle on this, and we can do that. We can definitely do that. So thank you so much for tuning in. The Melanin Report 360, the Melanin Report 360. Again, my book, The Melanin Diet, available on Amazon. And I'm working on my website right now, so it will be available pretty soon. My website is going to be announced really soon. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it that you listen, share, like, subscribe to my channel, and let's kind of hit the reset button, because our lives are depending on it. Our health of our lives just depending on it. So be nice to one another. And I just don't want to get in the habit of, trashing someone or talking ill on other people. We've got a lot of other stuff to worry about, that kind of stuff. So to just contribute it to that bucket, I want to have a way you can use practical application and tools, and that would be awesome that I'm doing my part. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in, family. Have a wonderful evening. Again, this is Deanne from the Melanin Report 360, the Melanin Report 360, the Melanin Report 360. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening. I'll see you tomorrow, same time. Peace.